We're in the most patriotic state in the union, that's Texas. We have a layover here in Houston.
And we're gonna do as the Texans do, eat some Texas barbecue and explore Houston in one day.
I'm Denny, and this is my wife, Nikki. We've been traveling the world for the last 6 months. Follow our journey. On to our first stop, which is Buffalo Bayou Park. Walking around the downtown, you can kind of see it's very modern.
Yes, and that's because the downtown of Houston didn't start booming until 1930s, because that's when the air conditioning became a thing and people could actually live here.
But being in Houston, what I think about is, big oil. I think of the George Bushes, and I think of the Houston Texans, which are not having a very good year. But I'm curious, as a European, Nikki, what do you know about Texas?
Rodeos, cowboys, meat, barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, and a really famous thing to do here as well is the Space Center.
But we're not gonna do that because we went to the Space Center in Florida, and what happened?
He fell asleep during a rocket tour where you could see all the rockets, and he fell asleep in the bus.
Yeah, we're standing in front of this space shuttle and we're both kind of nodding our head, falling asleep. So we decided maybe space history is not a thing.
It's not a thing.
But if you come here, you might want to do it.
But we do like parks, so on to the park.
And food, which we'll do later. Okay, so I got Nikki to stop in the Sam Houston Historical Park. Sam Houston, obviously the guy who Houston's named after. He was the first president of an independent Texas before it became part of the Union. So pretty cool. They got some old buildings here. They have some statues. Pretty nice if you're a history buff.
And in the wintertime, it feels like spring. It's super nice temperature outside.
It's very nice to be here in December. I would not, in any way in hell, want to be here during July though. I feel like you would fry like an egg. So walking around Houston, you notice there's a lot of parks. I read that there's a lot of money, a lot of millionaires here in Houston, and they've donated a lot of money to create these parks. I believe Houston has the most parks of any other city in the United States, even New York. So that's pretty cool.
So many fun facts.
We're at the Buffalo Bayou Park, and as you can see, it's a huge green space. This bayou area is where the old town of Houston would have been. Of course, all the older towns were next to rivers and water and such. But we're starving, and Nikki started my history, so we're gonna go ahead and go get some Texas barbecue.
I'm just laughing because that's take number 2. The first one, he's like, okay, I got long-winded, let's do it again. And this is even more long-winded.
I'm always questioning how much history to put in a video. Tell me, what do you guys think? You want more history in the video or more B-roll and food?
And food. Fast forward 20 minutes, we were hungry and we are now at a barbecue place.
Yeah, it's Pizza Tolia's Spare Ribs. It looks like a shack, and
those are always the best though.
Those are always the best. So
we see the smoke things there outside. It looks very rustic and cool inside, so we're gonna check it out.
Yeah, I can't talk anymore. We have to go eat.
We have to go eat.
Okay. Hello guys, how are you?
Hello.
Good, thank you.
Are you guys here for lunch?
Yes.
Anywhere, table, booth, whatever.
Okay.
Okay. What do you guys think? Hey, I messed up. I'm gonna be taking care of you.
Okay.
Do we like any?
You got the beef brisket?
Yeah.
Where are you looking?
Oh, that's dinners.
Doesn't matter, right? All right, our first time Texas barbecue, and I don't want to make a bad decision. So we are thinking about the beef brisket, pork spare ribs, and pulled pork. I don't know what to choose.
This is Texas. Okay, so I ordered the beef brisket, got some macaroni and cheese, and some corn. And then he brought us a spare rib to try because he says that's what they're known for. So I'm gonna dig in. I'm really hungry.
Say some for me.
Ooh. There's no way to eat this in like a flattering way, but Mickey didn't wait for the camera to turn on.
It's so good. The barbecue sauce is spicy, but it's such a good sauce. It's so rich in flavor, and these ribs just bite so easily off the bone. It's really good. Kind of wish we ordered spare ribs now.
So the first thing I did was I kind of just made a mistake by grabbing the fork and knife. I think the etiquette is you just start ripping it apart with your hands and get a little messy. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, it just tears apart so easily. Try it. It's very tasty. Lots of flavor. It's very tender. It's delicious.
I feel my hands now, but it's so hard to film because I'm so hungry, and the mac and cheese is delicious.
But you gotta try the
Okay, the pork. So they gave me a special pulled pork sauce. Just pour that over here. Okay, let's give it a go. This pulled pork is not dry. And the sauce is kind of sweet but really hearty and tomatoey. I can just eat it like this, but I think I'm just gonna slap it on some bread and pickles, make a sandwich out of it. But if this is Texas barbecue, then it has exceeded my expectations for sure.
You gotta try it with the barbecue sauce.
Put it on the side a little bit. It's such a different flavor. These two sauces, they look so similar, but they're so different in flavor and strength and hardiness and salt and sweet. And
But this brisket is so fatty and already feeling kind of full. And I've only ate one portion of the brisket, so now we gotta hop in and chow down on all of this before our body says no.
So now that I finished my pork, we have spit roasted corn with, I think it's a cheese up top. I feel like this is also like a street food in Mexico, but then on the cob. I'm not so sure. Okay. It's warm corn with warm cheese and some spices. It's really delicious.
When you eat Texas barbecue, everything in you just wants to go to sleep. But we're gonna push through, try to go see a couple more things here in Houston.
So the first time Texas barbecue is absolutely delicious. And what's really cool about this place is that the history is written all on the walls. You see the owners who started this in like the 1930s are hanging there as well. They used to have their barbecue place, a couple blocks down the street. Pizzatola took this over. They're very passionate about their foods. They bring out extra food for us to try because they knew it was the first time. So if you're in the area, if you're in Houston, we would definitely recommend this spot. But there is something interesting that we're going to drive to right now. What is it called?
Something like it's a park. It's like Waterfall Park, Gerald something Park, Gerald Hines Waterfall Park, and there's like a wall that has water coming down it, and it's supposed to be very, very pretty. So we're gonna go check that out. Of water, so I guess it's just here for beauty purposes.
For beauty, but the water is being recycled each time, so it's not a water waste. But it's definitely a beautiful landmark here in Houston. So as you can see, the whole Waterwall actually continues on the backside as well. It's really large. It's larger than I thought it would be. It's actually really cool to see. I wouldn't skip this on your trip to Houston.
We were shooting our Houston vlog, but then we got an email about our Thai pass, so we came straight home.
And Denny's already read his. It's approved.
And mine's approved, but Nikki hasn't read hers yet.
And we have heard of couples who had the exact same application. One was denied, so I'm so nervous. It's approved.
Yeah!
We're going to Thailand! And this morning we were already thinking about plan B, C, and D. Are we gonna go to Mexico? We already looked for flight tickets, renting a car. We're gonna hang out there for a month and then redo the whole Thailand stuff. I feel like I'm being extra dramatic. We're really happy.
You're probably like, what's so special about going to Thailand? When we first started to save up for this trip, which was now like 3 years ago, we meant to go to Thailand first.
Yes, we've been watching vlogs of everyone going to Thailand. It inspired us to do this.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
This has been such a process. So now all we have to do is get a negative COVID test. Tomorrow we're going to get a booster shot too.
I feel like this is going to go all over the place. But as of right now, it is December 29th and we fly December 31st. So if tomorrow we weren't going to have an email, we had to reschedule and change our flights. We also need to do a COVID test that takes 10 hours to get results back. And
it's really expensive.
It's so expensive here in America. So we needed to change our whole plan tomorrow. And then now we have our results. It's amazing. So this was our one day in Houston. We basically walked around the city and ate a bunch of food. So tomorrow is a long day of PCR testing, getting our booster shots, and getting all the documentation we need for our next continent, really. So thanks for watching our one day in Houston, and we'll see you next time somewhere else in the world.
Nikki's been taking my manhood lately.
Why?
So yesterday we have this orange like money pouch thing, right? It's like a hand purse. And she made me go in and get the Chipotle. And so in the middle of a bunch of guys, right, I pull out my bright orange flamingo purse and pay. And they made fun of me a bit. And now I'm walking around with this pink drink. All right. So that's what happens when you get married. Struggle with my glasses. Hold on. All right, so we're walking to Buffalo Bayou. Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're on to our first stop. Tex-Mex and tacos. Sounds delicious.
So,
all right.